Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. Susan Barron, the Executive Director of the Samaritan Counseling Center, and Patty Peacock is the Development Director, and we've been talking about the Samaritan Counseling Center, which is a faith-based counseling center, nonprofit, connected to a whole network in the United States of accredited and certified counseling centers, and it's been a wonderful addition to our West Texas community, and has satellites, has fingers in a lot of communities, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. But Patty, before the break, we were talking about some of the things like the fundraiser that's coming up.
Yes, it's October 20th. And it's our 17th annual Family of the Year banquet. And at this banquet, families from the community are nominated to be recognized. And we do have 4 families this year. In Midland, it's Jim and Tammy Smitherman. In Odessa, it's Dr. Griffin and Donna Jones. From Big Spring, it's Baylor and Jamie Walker. And from Andrews, it's Bob and Joyce Sapp.
And you might say that the way they were nominated is through their community.
That's right, and so their families have stood out in the community for their community involvement, for their faith, for their just family life, and it's really exciting. They're not, we're not looking at perfect families, but we're just looking at families that really, try and do a lot for their community, and they really are. They do need to be recognized. So it's a really neat evening, and it's exciting to see.
And we always have a great speaker.
Yes, and this year it is Abby Reich. And we felt like truly represented the center. She is a 2009 Biggest Loser contestant, but she has a significant story. I mean, just a story of loss and a story of hope, and how hope changes everything, and that's what our center is about, and that's how we feel. Hope truly does change everything, so we're excited to hear her this year. So she is our speaker. We've added a silent auction, so that's a new and exciting thing as well. And it's going well so far. We are looking for sponsors, and as always, and we've got table sponsorships and things like that available. So.
But that is such a warm, fuzzy feeling to think about honoring families.
Yes.
Not the husband or the wife in the family, but the family unit.
Yes.
And the children come, and it's just the most fun banquet that I attend every year.
It is. It's wonderful, and it is warm. It's you just feel warm inside just to hear what all they've done in the community, and it is amazing.
And how they're encouraging their children and
to follow suit. Yes, exactly. So it is. It's a really neat evening.
Good. Well, I want us to go back and talk a little bit more about the staff and the board and everything that makes this Samaritan Counseling Center run.
Well, we just have a wonderful group of folks, counselors, staff, administrators. We all work together, and it takes every bit of all of us to work every day. The way our corporation, we're incorporated, is set up is with an operating agreement that provides for a board of directors, and
because it's a nonprofit.
It is a nonprofit.
You have to have that.
Right. I answer directly to them, and the board consists of a cross section of our community: the medical community, legal, business, banking, clergy, volunteers. So we have a really good cross-section of people to draw expertise from, and they are the most committed. I cannot say enough about our board. The time they give is astounding. For these professional people that spend after hours, long lunch hours, meetings, phone calls, emails. I mean, I have them at my fingertips, and it's just invaluable.
And you might also say that they come from not just Midland, Odessa, but you have some that come from some of the surrounding areas.
That is true. We do. We actually are currently searching for a board member out of Big Spring and Andrews, and just this week I got align on a possible person in Andrews, yes. So we're trying to take advantage of the new technological age and use Skype and teleconferencing, because sometimes the people that want to serve can't make it to the meetings.
To every meeting.
Yeah, and so we're working on that part of it. But I wanted to add too that in this, to get the idea of Samaritan, we have an advisory board of which you are a member. We also have an endowment board. Now the endowment board is totally separate from West Texas Counseling, Samaritan Counseling Inc. It is Securing Samaritan's Vision Inc. And it is separate, and it does have some funds that can be available to us. They aren't automatically available to us. We have to go in and have to make our case. We have to. It's like asking for a grant, and sometimes we've gotten it, and sometimes we've been turned down.
The only difference is it's just to be used for the Samaritan Counseling Center, but it's got to be really needed.
That's right. That's right. And our satellites are. Our main office is out at the airport, which provides for a lot of anonymity if someone would prefer to come out there and just have the privacy of being out there at the airport. But we have a satellite in Odessa, Midland, Big Spring, and Andrews.
But talk a little bit about the other affiliations, like with the Texas Tech PA interns and some of the others.
Well, we have some programs with local entities. The city of Odessa is very, very generous to Samaritan Counseling Center. They provide a set amount of dollars every year, and that total amount goes to Samaritan whether or not their employees get the counseling. So they have, Mr. Darrell Wells with the City of Odessa has set aside an amount of money, and if the employees want to come to counseling, they come. And if they don't come, the balance of that money still goes to Samaritan. So that's extremely generous of the city. We have a...
But that's so forward thinking for an organization, a company, to say to their employees, your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and we're going to provide for it.
Well, and to Mr. Wells's credit, and the other EAP, or Employee Assistance Program, that we have is with Texas Tech Health Sciences Center, and they have a similar program where they subsidize their students and staff to come out to get counseling if they need it. And the other thing you mentioned, the PA program, physician's assistant, we're partnering with Texas Tech to allow those physician assistant students to do a psychiatric rotation out at Samaritan, because we have, as part of our accreditation requirements, our counselors have the opportunity to consult with 2 MDs, 2 medical doctors, and 1 psychologist every month. So they get to staff cases with the medical community.
So they're really hands-on. And Dr. Bobby Jane, the psychiatrist from Texas Tech Health Science Center, was here a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned that when he was talking. We're going to have to close our program today, but we'll be back next Sunday with another program about the Samaritan Counseling Center, because we barely scratched the surface. And next Sunday, we're going to primarily be talking about what happens with the counselors and how do you access if you have a need, or if some member of your family or your friendship circle has a need. We'll see you next Sunday with another program about the Samaritan Counseling Center.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB TV and KWES TV.